thinking. Hi, everybody. It's Dr. Hooper. I am coming to you live from my office with some special guests today. We have Kim. Wave, Kim.
Hi, everyone.
Kim with her glasses and Teresa with her
Hi.
headband. So Kim and Teresa have been going through weight loss surgery together. And you guys have known each other a long time. Tell us briefly how you know each other.
We're actually first cousins. Our mothers are sisters.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 7 years older than her, so I've known her whole life. And so, yeah, we decided, I'm actually the one that kind of jumped in, took a leap of faith, and started looking into having bariatric surgery. And I had actually reached out to a couple of other doctors, and then I chickened out. And so Dr. Kukrasia actually had an ad that popped up on Facebook. And I saw it and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and fill out the form and just see what happens. And so I filled it out. And I think like that very afternoon, somebody reached out to me and I was like, oh my God, you know, it was really scary, but
it's a sign.
Yes, it's a sign. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I have been feeling horrible. I can't, walk anymore without getting tired. So I went ahead and scheduled my initial appointment. And so I reached out to Teresa and I was like, hey, guess what I did? And she's like, what? And I, told her, and she's like, oh my God, I've been wanting to do the same thing. So we actually had our initial appointment 1 week apart.
That's right.
He made me do it.
So, Teresa, were you maybe a little more hesitant or not quite as certain that it was time for you?
Yeah, I was very hesitant because I had been thinking about it for a while, and my primary care doctor, we share the same doctor, had actually been pushing me because I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, and I just kept gaining and gaining. And with Kim, I've always looked up to her, and being so close with her taking the first initial dive, I was like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it. Let's do it. So, yes.
Dr. Kukrasia just sent us some feedback. He says, I can't see both Kim and Teresa. So can you guys either un-COVID, squeeze together? Oh, that's nice. Hopefully he can see you. And let's see, I might be able to, how do I make it? I don't need me bigger. I want you guys bigger.
I think when you split the screen earlier, it showed. Oh. Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that way is better.
Yeah,
that way is better. Okay, good.
Let us know, Dr. Kukrasia.
It's perfect. So for a lot of people, I think you're right, Teresa, that they're a little hesitant. They're getting some feedback. This might be something that's beneficial for them, but they haven't necessarily gotten there yet. And so I think having someone that can support you is really important. So tell us a little bit about your hospital time. How was it at the hospital for you guys? Did you chase each other doing laps in the hallway or end up sharing a room? What happened?
We did. So we were just a couple of rooms down from each other, which was great. And my experience was fantastic, all the way from pre-op to having the surgery. I mean, everyone there was wonderful. You were wonderful. I feared coming out of surgery and having the dreaded gas pains that everybody talks about. I wasn't really so much concerned with the incisions because I knew I'd had other surgery, knew that was something that you just have to deal with, and the pain medication helped with that. So it was the gas pain I worried about. But I tell you what, I don't know what you do, Dr. Hooper, but I had little to no gas pain.
I as well.
You're welcome.
I as well had little to no gas pain, and I was kind of like Kim. I was really scared. All the horrible stories that you hear, but I mean, I came out just fine, and the Tylenol and the staff and everything that they did for us there was, I mean, it was great.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I think we were up and walking
within 2 hours.
Yeah, exactly our goal for you guys. That's awesome. We We do start some pain medication called gabapentin a couple days before
Yes.
surgery,
Mhm.
and that has been shown to help people really reduce their pain needs afterwards.
Mhm.
And then we also do a long-acting block in the muscles in the operating room while you're asleep. So
Mhm.
it's definitely been a goal of ours to reduce that narcotic pain medication need, which means less nausea, less sleepiness, and less constipation.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I did not have
Yeah.
any nausea. I have not had any constipation. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome. I think the
Yeah.
only thing that I've started struggling with, and it's just mainly been this week because I went back to work, is getting my water in. You know,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
get busy, you forget to drink, and I
Yep.
just have to be more aware of that.
Excuse me. So you guys are both 3 weeks post-op almost now,
Yes.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. So you made it through your pre-op diet. You
Mhm.
made it through your post-op 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yes.
How was post-op for you, Teresa?
Post-op for me, once I got home, it's really about just getting on a schedule, staying on that schedule. And it was easy the first week that I was home because I went right back to work. But the first week that I was home, it was quite easy getting in my protein and my water and staying on schedule and checking off on the little checklist. Did I drink my water this hour? Did I drink my water? And I had hardly any discomfort, no gas pain. It was quite easy coming home. I maybe took Tylenol every other day, no constipation. It was easier than what I thought and what
Mhm.
I felt was going to happen. And especially having Kim to be able to turn to and say, hey, did you experience this? Hey, did this happen? But the first week, it was a breeze. There was
What happened the second week?
so the second week, I think it was just
True confessions. Here we
yeah,
go.
I think it was just having to go back to work a week sooner than what I probably should have taken 2 weeks off. Um, but going back, it was just work. It was crazy. I'm an office supervisor. It was a lot. So not being able to get my water in, forgetting. Now, what helped me was to be able to take small sips all day long out of a little mason cup, and I don't have it with me,
Yeah.
but
Oh, where
that
is your
helped.
little mason?
I
So
know I forgot it.
you showed me at your post-op visit. She
Yeah.
has, I only have my big coffee cup, which by the way is always full of water when people see me. But I really love this cup. My sister got it for me and it says, actually, I can. So it's a nice reminder, like, "Hey, you can do that." So you have a little 3-ounce
Yes,
clear
3 ounce
mason jar
mason
with
jar.
a
Mhm.
tiny, adorable handle.
Yes. And I
And
just try to refill that and sip on it all day long. And it helps me not be able to guzzle water because I'm a water guzzler. I love water. And I know we can't do that now. And I've tried one time by accident. I was really thirsty and I went to go guzzle and yeah,
Yeah,
that
we
was
can't
yeah,
do
bad.
it's
that.
really, really important to remember that that little stomach will definitely give
Yeah.
you some feedback.
Yeah.
So, Tammy, who you guys know well from our
Yes.
office, our scheduler, she just responded on Facebook and said, it's hard to get it all in, and
Yeah.
7 exclamation points.
It
Um,
Yes.
definitely is.
what do you guys have any tips or tricks? Like, so you use your little mason jar, so you're filling that up at least every hour.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
to me, that's, someone who's really goal oriented and they want to check off that box,
Yes.
empty
I
that cup.
made tons of copies of that little page and
Uh-huh. Yeah,
trying to
you made
utilize.
extra copies. Yeah.
I told Teresa one thing that I did this morning. I was afraid to do it, but it worked out really well. I have the Gen Pro,
Uh-huh.
and I mixed half a scoop, which is 15 grams of protein, in my morning coffee,
Mhm.
and had no flavor. So anybody that's struggling to get their protein in, just so you know, Gen Pro has no flavor in coffee, and you can get quite a bit of protein in that way.
Yeah. Some people will do a vanilla protein drink and mix
Mhm.
it in their coffee.
Mm-hmm.
1 cup of coffee long term, I'm okay with, but
Mm-hmm.
you do have to get all your fluids in because coffee is
Yeah.
going to dehydrate you a little bit.
Mhm.
Yes.
And so I think it's reasonable to have one,
Mhm.
but you should not be drinking a pot of coffee every day.
Right.
Right.
But it's a great opportunity to sneak a little extra protein in. So Gen
Mhm.
Pro, a protein drink, you could get one of those little handheld blender sticks,
Mhm.
just the battery operated one from,
Mhm. The
Amazon or
molten blend.
wherever.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and you can just whir that up and make it kind of frothy, and
Mhm.
you can do that with cold coffee in the summertime.
Mhm.
What are you guys looking forward to in the next few weeks as you start to eat more soft foods and do all those different new things?
I'm looking forward just to trying new things and see how my, new tummy's going to react to it. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I'm mostly going to be excited when I can go back to having a salad.
Yes.
And I think we were both talking about that this morning. You crave something fresh,
Uh-huh.
and so I'll be excited when I'm able to have salad again.
Yeah, that definitely comes. You will be able to eat real vegetables, raw vegetables.
Mhm.
The key long term, as you've heard me say so many times, eat your protein first, then
Yeah,
your
Yes.
veggies,
yeah.
and that nice fresh crunch, especially this time of year, will be good for you both
Yes.
and be right on time. What we were talking a little bit before we went live. You said, it was nice to be around each other because we had some other family members that, didn't really understand what we were doing.
Mhm.
And tell us a little bit about how you supported each other then and even now with, let's call them the naysayers or
The
the
naysayers,
Mhm.
yeah.
well butts of the world.
Mhm.
So the pre-op part of it, it's nice when somebody goes through it at the same time with you, because until you've done it, it's hard to empathize with somebody. When you're not able to eat and you're around family members that are. I know Tammy had posted once in the support group that it was hard having to cook a meal for your family
Mhm.
and you can't have it. And I could not even imagine. I feel bad for people that have to do that. So going, through it with someone else who can say, oh, I understand what, you're going through. If you're having a tough day, calling them up and saying,
Yep.
oh my gosh, I'm really hungry, kind of get your mind off of it. I know we spent a lot of weekends together, and it was super nice having that weekend go by really quickly because, if you're at home, you're thinking about food all the time when you can't have it. What
Mhm.
about you? I mean,
Yeah, just being able to share recipes. We had to go through Mother's Day
Oh.
1 week post-op of surgery. And so that was so hard.
Our family got
Yeah.
together and they cooked a huge brisket meal, and we're just like,
It was the first time that we had all gotten together since the pandemic. And we
Mhm.
were able to spend time with my 96-year-old grandmother. And so all of us were there, all of our cousins, and our family is all about food. All they do is cook,
Yeah.
cook, sweets and everything. So to have her there with me and us going through the same exact thing, I mean, we were able to go sit outside and just kind of be away and eat a popsicle or do what we needed
you
to
have
do.
your mind off of
Yeah.
what they're doing because you have
Yeah.
somebody to relate to and to
Yeah.
talk to.
It's just so much easier.
I would say everyone that's looking to have it, if you have a close friend, if you have a family member that has mentioned they want to have the surgery, reach out to them and just ask them, hey, let's do this together, because I think that's made a big difference in us doing this together.
Mm-hmm.
I
And we
think
have
that's
family
great.
members that have already asked about you all, and we
Mhm.
have recommended, and
We've met a couple of them. We really
Yeah.
appreciate
Mhm.
that.
so yes.
Being overweight is often genetic. And
Yeah.
so over time, it's not uncommon for us to take care of family members. But to me, that's one of the nicest compliments to have you trust us for yourself and your family. So thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
Thank you for all that y'all do.
Yeah, I mean, my life I'm 3 weeks post-op and my life has totally changed. I told Teresa Monday I started walking a mile. Before I started this journey, I
Mhm.
would do 10 minutes and and I was dying. My back was hurting, my knees were hurting, and I'm able to do a mile right now with no pain. So
That's
No blood
fantastic.
pressure medication
oh, that's
for
another
you.
thing. I had high blood pressure.
Not
Um, I,
anymore.
I'd been taking lisinopril for almost 2 years, and you took me off of the lisinopril after surgery, and my blood pressure has been perfect. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's so
very
exciting.
This has changed our lives
Yeah.
dramatically in just
Yeah.
3 weeks. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, we're just so looking forward to what the future holds for us and our
We
healthy journey.
we are too, and we are looking forward to um, roping you guys in and checking up with us. I'd like to do this again with you when you're like 6 months post-op and then at a year. One of the things we've talked about when I've seen you intermittently is, take some pictures so you can have
Mhm.
some before and after. But certainly what you alluded to, Kim, is that it's not about the number on the scale. It's
No.
about that improved energy
Mhm.
and being able to uh, be more active and feeling better and not taking those other blood pressure medicines. And so
Yes.
we're really, really proud of you. So we've got some people intermittently popping in and out and watching. And Dr. Kukreja is doing some live stream texting with us here. So it'll show up on Facebook. And actually, this is on our YouTube channel also. Kim, were you the one that told me you want to be a YouTube star?
That's
That's you, Teresa.
that's Dramatica.
Um,
She was trying
she's
to talk me into starting a YouTube
Hey,
channel.
we're going to be the first 1-ton family to send all of our family members to you, Dr. Hooper. So we
well.
are going to be
I
famous.
cannot wait to do a group picture of you and your family. We'll
Yeah.
do one, and then I'd like to have like a list of how many medications people quit taking,
Yes.
and just how things have changed. I hope that. I think the other thing that would probably have to change in your family is that very common events center around food.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
the more that join your team
Mm-hmm.
on team bariatrics,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
um, the more I think you guys will have to come up with what else are we going to do? You might become a board game family, or you might become a
Mm-hmm.
frisbee golf family,
Mm-hmm.
or
So
it
my
might.
my sister-in-law's family, they're very, very healthy. And when they have get-togethers, they go on hikes and do stuff like
Uh-huh.
that. And I used to think, what kind of family? And now I'm like, hey, that would be fun.
Like we could go
My
on a
my
hike. That
husband
sounds
is
good.
so healthy, and he's a
Mhm.
health nut, and he actually wants to become a physical trainer. So he signed up for his first Spartan race in a couple of months, and he's like, "Hey, you can do it with me," and I'm like, not there yet, but wishful thinking.
If you
So
wanted to, you could. If you don't want to, you don't have to.
yeah.
But I think that's awesome thinking about those open doors and those possibilities.
Hmm.
So does anybody out there have any questions for our sisters? If you're watching on Facebook or if you're watching on YouTube, you can pop those on. We said sisters, you're cousins, but
We're cousins.
We're
um,
sister
We're
cousins.
like sisters.
they are like
In
sisters.
yeah, in the Spanish culture, they call us like sister cousins.
Yeah.
But so
Okay.
yeah, you can say sisters.
So does anybody out there have any questions for our panel today? Um, One thing that we've heard from a few patients that's kind of plays off of what you guys talked about supporting each other. We've had some people who are kind of going through surgery alone, but they've met another patient at the hospital who's
Hmm.
having surgery the same day, and they've exchanged numbers and become
Oh,
friends.
Uh-huh.
Certainly our support group on our Facebook page, and then through the hospitals, we have support groups too.
hmm.
So we want people to interact and have that system to help them if they are not lucky enough to have their sister cousin who is going through this. Or sometimes it's maybe someone who had surgery before who can be helpful.
Yeah, and everyone feel free to message us if you have any questions. I know one of the things that I was super scared of, and I don't know why, but in pre-op is going through the stress test.
Uh-huh.
I was just in a panic thinking they're going to put me on a treadmill, somebody that has been inactive for such a long time, and I'm just going to die on that treadmill. They don't put you on a treadmill. It's on a stationary bike.
Yeah.
And it's really not that bad. If that's one thing that scares you like it did me, don't be afraid. Reach out to somebody, that's had the surgery and ask them,
And
if
ask us in the office. We can
Yeah,
definitely
yeah,
help
yep.
with those things too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other thing to know is this office is wonderful
Yes.
and amazing.
McCall
You
is
get
great.
McCall
Dr.
and
Hooper,
Tammy,
everyone.
everybody. You get responses really quickly. They help you with anything and everything. So yes, just shout out.
That's very nice. All right,
yeah.
we've got a question popping up. What do you think was the most difficult part about the whole process? So from pre-op, surgery day, post-op, up until now, what was the most difficult part?
Mine personally was pre-op. Because we had high BMIs, we had to do just liquid only. And I imagine even if you do the liquid with a few little snacks, is hard also.
Right.
It's a mental thing. You're not really hungry. I mean, we're allowed to have, plenty of shakes. It's all mental. You have to make sure that you're mentally in the right place before you start.
Yeah.
But to me, pre-op was way harder than post-op.
Yeah, pre-op was, I would say for me, pre-op, but it was just the first 3 days. Just getting over the caffeine migraines.
Yes.
And then once the protein actually started, I don't know, kicking in and filling me up, I would say it was the pre-op diet. But once I got through those 3 and 4 days, it got easier.
Yes, that's true. The first 3 or 4 days are the worst.
So it was not, we anticipated and we worked ourselves up over it, I think is what happened. Because after those 3 and 4 days, it was actually fine and we got through it and we survived. And
my husband actually did the pre-op with me.
That's great
was
support.
a lifesaver, and he lost 20 pounds.
So. Yeah. Good for him. That's awesome. So we have kind of gone through the whole journey so far. I'm going to see you guys again in a few weeks, but let's plan to do another video when you're about 6 months post-op. Let's hear how things have gone. You'll have gone through the summer, through the heat, through staying hydrated in Texas in that heat. Note to self, stay hydrated in Texas in the summer. And then and let's see how things are going and how you're both doing. And we'll see if we have other family members to add to the video at that point that are ready to
by then we'll be
share their
skinny
story.
and we can all fit in one screen.
You fit in one screen just fine. You're
no, but with our other family members, we'll all be so skinny we can fit.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I hope everyone's having a great Wednesday chat. We need a good name for these Wednesday chats. I don't know what we'll call them yet. And thanks, Dr. Kukraja, for working the banners so I can just sit and enjoy and relax and chat. There he is. And
awesome.
We'll watch on our Facebook page. I bet we'll get more questions when people watch this later today and over the next few days. Perfect. It's so good to see you both.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
thanks, Dr.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I'm all end it.